it's Lisa. Today I'm going to do what I think will be a really fast page using a sketch from my 2014 sketchbook. This sketch was originally done with a single photo, which I'm going to do today, but it was done with a much larger photo. I'm going to stick with a 4x6. What attracted me to the sketch are these strips. These were originally paper strips. I think I'm going to do some washi tape around my photo, and I'm going to be turning the sketch. I'll probably also be flipping it in that this design I think will go over here in this corner, but I'm not sure. It's not going to be a flower because I've got two guys here in my photo. This is my husband and one of his close friends from college who I finally met for the first time. He talked about him for years and years and years, and he finally came out this way and spent the day with us a couple of months ago. So I want to talk about that, and I've got to put my title probably, I don't know, if I put the design here, I'll put the title down here or vice versa, and then the journaling down here at the bottom. But this page uses some designer paper, and as I say, I'm going to use some washi tape for my strips there. I probably won't stitch around it, but I'll try to do something else maybe to dress up those edges a little bit. The sketchbook has sketches for one photo all the way up to gobs and gobs and gobs of photos on single and double page sketches, and everything is to scale. When you print this out, it comes out 6 inches by 6 inches, so you can take any element on the page or its position and double it and then use it as your guide. So that's going to be our sketch. I'm working with papers out of Basic Gray's J'adore collection, and this is probably, you know, supposed to be a little more feminine connection, or a little more Valentine's Day papers. We're not going to tell the guys that. I didn't pull out any of the papers with little hearts all over them. What I did was pulled out these because I liked the colors. I liked the red and the green colors that were in here, especially the stripe, and it has a nice red on the background. I also have this stripe. We won't use the flowery thing there. This print side, and this is Vivian collection, and it also has some similar colors, so we may work with that there. I have a piece of, oh, that's a pretty background too, green. I also have a piece of Mellow Moss cardstock. This was an old color from Stampin' Up, and when they discontinued, I thought I would just use gobs of it, so I bought a big pack of it, and I really haven't used that much of it, but I think it will work for this one. If it doesn't work, we'll switch over to some other background paper. Also with this collection, I had the flare, so I think we'll use a piece of the flare and then maybe build that up into a little bit more of an embellishment. Again, a pretty simple page. I just want to really, you know, capture the picture and put some emphasis on that and have a nice place to put the journaling. I don't really have a specific theme here that I want to do with embellishments or anything. Just make sure that this gets put in our album in a special way so that we will remember this day. So what I want to do now is start trimming down some paper. My sketch shows a really large piece here. I'm thinking of doing, you know, a couple of pieces of paper since I don't have the one big photo. I just have, one smaller photo. I may go ahead and mat it on one of the papers and then do another larger one around the edge. And we need to pick out some washi tapes. Let's do that. See what goes here. Okay, and now we want to use the stripe some. Thinking I may use like these two. So which washi tapes will go with that? I don't know. Let's see, I have like that green's not bad. That's probably a little too, yeah, it's a little too bright. I have some reds here. I also have this wood grain. Let's see what this would look like. Yeah, I like that. I like that. It gives a little bit more masculine look. We might just do the wood grain. I also have some beige. I think I like the wood grain. Let's do this one, and then we'll see if we want to add any more washies along with that. But we'll do it first. Oh, here's another green. Oops. Well, I'll have to pick that up. But I think I want to use that one. So let me trim these papers down and kind of go from there. Now, as I started looking at these papers, I realized that I needed something larger than that stripe to cover the background area. According to the sketch, it's actually supposed to be 10.5 inches square, and I wouldn't have to make it that big, but I kind of, my background is just that cardstock, so I kind of need something there. So I ended up using the Vivian piece, that more geometric, rather than the stripe, and then put the rosy red paper on top of that, and that's turning out really good. I like the stripe, but it just didn't quite fit with the page. I did think though this would be a good page to do some distress ink, so I first started putting on some with sponges, and that's what I'm going to do, but I'm also going to do some direct paper around on the edge. Gives it a little bit more masculine feel, defines those papers really good. So I've got them glued down, and at this point I'm just adding some washi tape around the photo kind of casually. And that'll frame our photo. And I put a little glue in there too, just to hold it as well, but there's plenty of washi to hold it on. That green one that I dropped on the floor earlier is a good fit, and I think it'll be a good foundation for the embellishment that I'm going to do. I thought I would punch something to go behind the flare, and I have lots of different kinds of book paper. Since they were school friends, I pulled out a dictionary page, and I also have some paper from a architectural textbook that I bought at a used bookstore, and my husband was a math major, math and biology, and so these kinds of things with formulas and stuff on there are a real good fit. So I thought that would work well, and I said earlier I wasn't going to do a flower. This is not a flower. It may look a little bit like a flower, but we're not going to call it a flower. It's just an embellishment. Just did a couple of layers with the book paper behind the piece of flare that came from the J'adore collection. So we want our title to say something about old friends, and I thought I'd use some little stickers, little October afternoon stickers, to have the longer part of the title. I'm going to write Justify it over below the photo, and then I'll put the journaling over on the left side. It looks right now like old fiends, but there's an R coming. There we go. Old friends. All right, and then picking out some mini market stickers. I decided I had enough red, and I didn't want to go with the wood grain, so I did the other beige one there, and that looks really good. Now, for what's going to go around the edge instead of sewing, I'm going to use some trim twine that I get in the jewelry department at Hobby Lobby, and I'm punching myself a hole in the four corners, half an inch in from each corner, and I'm attempting to thread this so I can make it easier to go through the holes. That takes a little bit of time to get it to where I can thread it. I really need a little bit larger tapestry needle here. But anyway, we're going to sew this, and it's just going to be attached in the four corners. So it wastes a little bit of twine, but that's okay. It's very inexpensive. So we're just kind of running this across the paper, top, underneath and over, until I get all four sides covered. Now there's one side there I'm going to have to feed back through the hole. I spent a fair amount of time doing this. I've speeded it up pretty good here because I didn't unroll enough of the twine to start with. But it's not that hard to feed it through. And the way I tie things off on the back is I just use tape. You could use washi tape. Even though I had the washi tape handy, I just went ahead and used my regular tape like I normally do. Finish that last corner off. And then I've got to put my journaling on. I decided to do that in strips, and that will kind of wrap up our page. So it's a really fast and simple page. And here it is. You can see from the sketch, just flip the sketch to the left, and then I moved that one embellishment over and tilted the titling around there. And otherwise, it's it's pretty similar. It has, you know, certainly some inspiration from that sketch, so I didn't have to start from scratch. You can see some close-ups. The 2014 sketchbook, you can find a link to that over on my blog. It has 52 sketches in it. There's a table of contents that, you know, directs you to the different sketches for different number of photos, and there's an index for the photos. So if you have 2 photos or 4 photos, what sketches are specific to those and what other sketches you might use. And there's also a supplies index this year where you can, if you have a lot of washi or brads or whatever, it will direct you to sketches that utilize those supplies. So that's my page for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this will inspire you to pull out your sketches and make some new pages.